Paula, can you hear you? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it just, the invite, for some, whatever reason, the invite didn't come through to my calendar.
Mayor, you're welcome to start the meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we're recording now, and want to welcome everyone to the City of Cottonwood Heights. This is our business meeting, Tuesday, April 7th, just after 7 p.m., about 7:08, on April 7th, 2020. These are challenging times, difficult times. We appreciate those online with us who are listening, and we appreciate their willingness to follow the guidelines that have been set out by our county mayor and our governor, and pray that everyone is staying home and staying safe. I think it's having a tremendous impact, and that's reports that we're getting from our public safety that people are abiding quite well by the guidelines that are established. So anyway, welcome everyone. We're on a teleconference. I don't have a flag, so unless somebody wants to volunteer to say the pledge, you going to do that, Paula? There it is. Let's ask Tim Tingey to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody take a look at the flag, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Tim, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance
To the
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul, if you'll mute your mic, thank you. That was different, but I appreciate the gesture of joining us in that Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, in your package, you have two proclamations. The first proclamation is 2020-3. That is celebrating Arbor Day. I don't plan on reading the whole proclamation, just that it's dated this 7th day of April 2020 and celebrates Arbor Day. And the other proclamation, which is 2020-4, is recognizing April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. And as Shane discussed previously, every April will be declared Child Abuse Prevention Month. Anybody have any questions about these two proclamations?
Not a question, but I think it was somewhat appropriate. We discussed our tree ordinance that's coming up on the same day we're doing our Arbor Day ordinance. And I think we're all very supportive of child abuse prevention.
Thank you. And with everybody being quarantined or stay at home, child abuse prevention along with domestic violence are two sensitive issues. So our support of those efforts. If I'm hearing no further discussion, I call for a motion to support both of these proclamations, 2020-3 and 2020-4.
I'd move that we approve both proclamations.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Councilmember Bracken and seconded by Councilmember Bruce. I'll call for the vote. Councilmember Michael?
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce?
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Thank you. Okay, moving down the agenda, citizen comments. Tim, do we have anyone who's sent in a comment they'd like read into the record?
Yes, I have one and I will read it. It's fairly short. It's from Eric Cron. And this is what he says. Dear elected officials and staff, I want to lend my voice of support towards all safety improvements to the intersection of Fort Union and Wasatch Boulevard. Because of land use decisions and recreational features that surround and connect at this location, the volume and speed of vehicles through this intersection has already made any use outside of a vehicle a dangerous proposition. The Porcupine Connector is one such feature that will improve conditions at this location. Please be advised that such elements will also invite more pedestrian use into this intersection, and as such, more protections to these users will need to be done to mitigate the risk of severe injury or death as these users start moving about. I want to personally thank the city staff for the effort and coordination with Murray City to arrange the installation of the bicycle fix station provided by the Salt Lake County Bicycle Advisory Committee at the parking lot of Big Cottonwood Canyon Trail. This location is one of the most heavily used start and finishing points for cyclists, according to Strava data. I'm sure in the years to come, many people will be thankful to have such an amenity available to them at this location. And then he says, thank you, Eric Cron. The other one that I have, Senator Kathleen Reeby contacted me right before the meeting and wanted me to share with you that she's a resource to get us any information related to state data or things that may help us. I talked to her about getting some economic projections. She also sent me an email prior to the meeting, and she's saying, and this is to all of us here, good evening, thanks for all the work you do for our communities. I'll be sending out information for your council members, and she'll send that to me and then I'll send that on to you. But she wanted me to express that to you prior to this meeting. Like I say, she called just right before our work session. I don't see any other, let me just look real quickly. I don't see any other public comments or citizen comments at this time.
Thank you, Tim. And with respect to the senator's comments, this reminds me of the importance of, as we gather statistics from our meetings with Mayor Wilson stuff, that we make sure that we share those with the council and the community, which ties into economic statistics as well as health statistics, etc. So thank you for reading those to us. Okay. Following the agenda, the next thing is we have some action items. The first item, which is Resolution 2020-8, adopting an amended policy for electronic meetings of the city's public bodies. Tim or Shane, you want to just introduce that real quickly for the audience?
Shane, do you want to do that? Where are you?
I'd be happy to, and let me know if you can't hear me still. The city adopted its first set of electronic meeting policies in 2006. Since then, the portion of the Open and Public Meetings Act governing electronic meetings has been changed. And then, of course, on March 18th, the governor issued his executive order 2020-05, suspending some aspects of the Open and Public Meetings Act during the duration of the pandemic. So we thought this was a good opportunity to go ahead and put before the council proposed updated electronic meeting policy for the city. And then those of you who have had a chance to review it in detail will see that at the end of the policy, this is item 10, we state that the anchor location, noticing and other provisions of these procedures that are suspended or modified pursuant to Governor Gary Herbert's Executive Order 2020-05, dated 18 March 2020, are hereby so suspended or modified during the duration of that order. So we would put that before the council on that basis.
Okay, any comments, questions from the council? I know we've reviewed this before, and this is necessary for us to host the meetings as we're doing it.
Well, I would move that we approve Resolution 2020-08 because I'd hate to have to go back and redo this meeting in person.
Second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Bracken and seconded by Councilmember Bruce. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. All right, the next item of business is Resolution 2020-09, approving and ratifying a declaration declaring a state of local emergency in the city of concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. Tim, you want to address that one?
Yeah, like I said earlier, and I'll just be brief, a portion of the act where the local emergency declaration under state law is outlined, it states that the local emergency shall not be continued or renewed for over 30 days without the consent of the elected governing body of the jurisdiction. And so the issuance of the declaration was on March 16th. That would end on expire on April 15th. And part of this ratification of the declaration, along with approving this resolution, would continue that on until the time that the governing body declares it terminated, and we'd have to bring it back to you. Obviously, we're not out of this, and so we want it to be continued. And so I'm recommending approval of this resolution.
Thank you, Tim. Any questions, comments from the council? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve 2020-09.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Bruce. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
It's been seconded by Councilmember Peterson. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Thank you. Okay, the next item for business is consideration of Resolution 20-10, approving an amended and restated interlocal agreement with Murray City concerning the Big Cottonwood Canyon Trail. Matt, you just want to take 30 seconds and introduce that again?
Yeah, I can, Mayor. Just as a reminder, we've brought forward on a couple of councils where we will be installing what we call the Porcupine Trail. It's the trail right there in front of the Porcupine restaurant that connects Big Cottonwood Canyon Trail to the West Park and Ride. This will be a bicycle/walking path that will make this connection. What the agreement is you're considering tonight is amendment to an existing agreement that we already have with Murray City, which this new amendment will include a legal description now of where the trail will actually go for this project.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions or further comments regarding this? I know we had a public comment from Eric regarding the same subject.
No, I mean, as I understand it, this will mean people can use that park and ride and then access the entirety of that trail. That would give them an off, under Wasatch Boulevard method to get up the canyon. That also connects directly into the Holiday Trail that goes down Holiday Boulevard. So I think that's a great addition for people who may be biking or walking or jogging along there. They can park there and then move on.
True, thank you. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Move that we approve resolution 20 dash. Which,
And-
sorry,
20-10.
20-10. Okay, it was on, sorry, it moved off my page.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Bracken and seconded by Councilmember Bruce. Any further discussion? Here none, I'd call for the vote. Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken, Councilmember,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken, Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay, the next item of business is consideration of resolution 2020-11, accepting a bid and approving a contract with DRD Paving LC for Porcupine Connector Trail Project. Matt, anything you want to add to this? I think we understand what it is, but it's $196,000. Maybe you could tell us where the money comes from.
Yeah, one of the directions we've received from Tim Tingy is that we cut back on capital projects that are coming out of the general fund. The reason we're moving forward with this one is this funding is actually coming from two grants that we received, one from the state TAP and one from the Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant. We are required to expend the outdoor recreation grant by June 30th of this year. We've tried to get a bit of an extension and they've given us 1 month. And then we also have the state money. So none of this will be coming out of the general fund of the city coffers.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh, can I just ask a question? Sorry. Sorry, you're saying that we don't have a match on this?
We do. We've already paid that match in our design and everything. So we've already met that.
We met our match via labor and other input.
Yeah, there's two things. We've met our match because we designed this, so that was part of our match. Part of the other match, we have a state TAP money, and that state TAP money required a match. And so part of the Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant that we got pays for our portion of the match as well. So there's two funding sources for the match. We've already paid one that was done months ago, and then we're using the state outdoor recreation money as the rest of our match. Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that made sense. So there's no match on the outdoor recreation money, just on the state.
So the net outflow from our general fund is just it is basically zero. It's just the labor and time we put in for design.
Correct. That bill's already been paid before any of this ever got started.
So Matt, the $196,000 for the contract obviously does not include the match.
No, everything is in this number. Our portion of the match is coming from the outdoor recreation money, and the majority of it's being paid for by the state TAP money. So two funding sources. One is actually paying our match.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? I'm excited to get this project done. It's very appropriate in a key location.
And that's due to be finished by July?
We're shooting for the end of June so that we can get our money back from them.
I move that we approve 2020-11.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Bruce. Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Okay, seconded by Councilmember Michael. Any further questions? All right, we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
and Councilmember Michael.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. All right, we have one other item of business before our consent calendar, and that's consideration of Resolution 2020-12, approving and ratifying agreement with the state of Utah for installation of electronic vehicle charging station at City Hall. See, Mike Johnson, are you still on to introduce this real quickly for the audience?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is a reimbursement agreement, a rebate program offered by the Department of Environmental Quality through the state of Utah. Essentially, with this agreement, we have 2 years to construct and install an electric vehicle charging station that will include 2 plugs for 2 vehicles in the City Hall parking lot. Upon completion of that, we can submit a reimbursement claim through the DEQ and receive this $1,900 back. This is being coupled with a separate rebate through Rocky Mountain Power to lower the total cost to the city from just over $5,000 to just under $2,000 total.
Okay, Mike, timing of when this is going to take place?
We have currently existing budget set aside for this. However, I will continue to coordinate with Tim. Again, we have 2 years to do this. So if there are, if there's caution in the next couple months due to the tightening of everything, we do have a little time to wait. But we are, as of now, proceeding to move forward with this as soon as possible.
Yeah, I hope we do. I'm supportive of having this thing happen. It's not a material amount, and it's in the current year's budget. So anyway, hope to hear good news on that going forward. Okay, any further discussion or questions on this topic? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
I move that we approve 2020-12.
It's been moved by Councilmember Bruce. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's seconded by Councilmember Michael. Any further discussion or comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Okay, that's all of our business items. The only thing we have left is our consent calendar. This is for meeting minutes of January 7th, February 18th, and March 3rd. I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I move that we approve the consent calendar.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Bruce. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
It's been seconded by Councilmember Peterson. Any final discussion or comments on those minutes? Hearing none, I'd call for the vote. Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. All right, that's all of our business and action items. So we don't have any other business scheduled. Therefore, to entertain a motion to adjourn and reconvene in our closed meeting as part of our work session. Have a motion, please.
I move that we adjourn the business meeting and close the open session and open a closed session.
Do we have a second for that?
I'll second that.
Moved by Councilmember Bracken, seconded by Councilmember Peterson. I'm going to do a roll call because it's moving us into the closed session. So I'll call for a vote. Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. We're adjourned. We'll reconvene in a couple minutes. Thank you.